Look, my dear friends, let's get straight to the point. Welcome, or maybe not, because today the conversation is serious and direct. I'm going to drop a truth on you that, if you have a minimum of common sense, will change the way you handle female attraction. Want to become the guy who not only sparks her interest, but also knows how to maintain and accumulate it over time. All right, then sit down and pay attention. But first, pay close attention here. This video only exists because someone before you liked, commented, and subscribed. Now it's your turn to keep the wheel spinning and stop consuming free content as if it were a right. Like, subscribe, and at least drop a thank you in the comments. And it's not to please me. It's for the blessed algorithm. Otherwise, YouTube won't even know that this content deserves to reach other lost souls who need a slap in the face. Now that you've done your part, let's get straight to what matters. Number 1, the cruel reality of being a good guy. Let's face the facts. If you're one of those well-intentioned guys who grew up believing in Disney movie romances, it's time to wake up. All that story about just being the good guy and that love will magically blossom is pure fairy tale. And guess what? In real life, that script leads straight to frustration and disappointment. Look, society likes to push some pretty ideas on us. They say that if you're kind, understanding, and show how much you care, everything will work out. Nonsense. These teachings were made to sell romantic movies, not to help you in life. The truth is that following this good guy manual makes you just another dazzled fool, thinking that sincerity and total surrender will make you irresistible. They won't. There you go, full of intentions, believing that by declaring yourself, she will look at you with those bright eyes and recognize the value of your surrender. But what happens is the opposite. By opening up that way, you end up giving away the game. She feels she already has you in her hand, and what does that bring? Exactly, boredom. Because attraction, my friend, is driven by mystery, by doubt. When you hand over everything on a silver platter, her interest evaporates. Ah, but she seemed to like the attention, you might say. Sure, my dear. At first, she likes it. Who doesn't enjoy being adored? But that phase is fleeting. She enjoys the novelty, but soon she starts to realize there's nothing left to conquer, that there's no more challenge. And you know what happens to her interest? It turns to ice. And let's be frank, excessive passion weakens a man. Every time you act on impulse, driven by emotions, you weaken your ability to see things clearly. You start making pathetic decisions, acting as if you're constantly with your heart in your hands, and in her eyes you begin to seem ridiculous. The balance a man should have, that rational calm that inspires respect and interest, falls apart when you act like a lovesick teenager out of control. Here's the truth. You need to be logical, firm. The male nature is oriented by rationality, and that's what makes you attractive. All this talk of surrendering and talking about your feelings without measure turns you into a needy guy, an emotional burden, and she will see you exactly that way, as someone emotionally inferior, someone without self-control. Feel the weight of that? You should, because that's exactly what you need to understand to stop being made a fool and start acting like a man who knows what he's doing and what he wants. Number 2, caring too much is a sign of weakness, period. Now let's move to the second reality check, which is hard to swallow but essential. You know that talk that if you care deeply, give your all, you'll have an epic, movie-like love. Well, it would be beautiful, but it's the biggest illusion they've invented. In practice, the more you care, the more you seem weak. Yes, weak. And that's not something she will tell you, but she will feel it, and very quickly. Think that intense and reciprocal love is the rule. You can stop with that because this idea of reciprocal romance, exactly equal, is the exception, my friend. And if you insist on living that fantasy, the chance of getting hurt is high. You might meet dozens, even hundreds of women, before finding one who has the same intensity as you. And if you're busy giving yourself and clinging to each one of them as if they were the only one, you'll end up constantly broken and frustrated. This obsession with being the guy who feels everything intensely is a kick in the pants. You know what happens when you start caring too much? All that mystery, that energy that generated attraction and interest, disappears. You become the predictable guy, easy to read. And you know what that causes? Disinterest. The woman starts to feel that there's no challenge because you're there, surrendered, without worrying about maintaining a bit of control. So, what's the right stance? Be the guy who knows how to enjoy the moment. Go out to have fun. Enjoy what's happening without needing to drown emotionally. Be the guy who has his life, his interests, and who isn't desperate for a fairy tale ending. When you take things more lightly, keeping one foot in reality, her interest in you will last much longer. Stop being the good guy who gets lost in his own emotions. Value yourself and stop diving headfirst into every situation. That will make her stay interested, seeing you as a secure, strong guy who has much more to offer than just a heart in his hands. Number 3, coldness and distance, the magnet of female desire. Let's get straight to the point. Want to accumulate desire? Be cold and distant. It sounds simple, right? But hold on, I'll break it down for you to understand. Being cold isn't being completely indifferent. It's about having control, not letting yourself be dominated by passion or attachment. You need to keep focus on your priorities and not become her emotional puppy. Maintaining this coldness means having the ability to hold the reins, not dive head first, and not let emotions take over like a teenager. Being distant is about not being available to her 24/7. That means you won't respond to every message in 5 seconds, nor will you plan your life around her schedules. No more being glued to your phone just to see if she responded. Want to know the result of this? You become a mystery. She never knows what to expect from you, and that activates the curiosity instinct. What better thing to increase interest than leaving her wondering where you are and why you're not chasing her? Now, pay attention here. When she feels she doesn't have you completely, her desire increases. She starts trying to tame you, but the game is always in your favor. This mystery you maintain is like a challenge she can't overcome, and that only fuels her desire even more. Her need to have you under control is never satisfied, which keeps the flame of attraction burning. Want to keep the interest? Give up being predictable. The mystery, the lack of predictability, and this slight distance are what make the desire game prolong. Don't be another one who gives away the game right from the start. If you're fed up with being the idiot she treats like a doormat, who accepts any crumbs and still gets kicked to the curb when she feels like it, then wake up. It's time to stop swallowing disrespect and turn this dirty game around. Go to the description and grab the digital book I left for you. After reading it, you'll learn to be a real challenge, to never bow your head again, and to put any woman in her place without mercy or pity. Enough of being stepped on and discarded like useless. If you want respect, then start acting like a man who demands respect. Number 4, control your emotions and be the rock in the situation. Let's get straight to it. If you don't control your emotions, you're just someone who's easily manipulated. Men who are led by impulse, who react to every provocation or shift moods at the drop of a hat, lose her respect and interest in record time. This kind of behavior puts you in a weak position where anyone can throw you off balance. Now, who's really attractive? The one who stays calm, who doesn't lose control, who is the true rock in any situation. Mastering your emotions is much more than just self-control. It's about being the foundation she can rely on, even if she never says it outright. When you keep your cool, she feels that you're stable, that you have control over yourself and your life. And nothing is more attractive than a man who doesn't lose his composure. So next time you feel that urge to snap, to over-explain yourself, or to show that you're rattled, stop. Take a deep breath and remember, she respects the man who responds intelligently, not impulsively. When she sees that, no matter what she does to test you or push your limits, you stay grounded. Her respect for you only grows. And that's what creates true attraction, the kind that lasts. So make emotional control your strength. Become the man she seeks in moments of uncertainty, because she knows you won't falter, that you're the fixed point, the one who always knows what to do. If you want to be someone who commands respect and stirs desire, start by mastering your own emotions and being the rock in any situation, the one she can't get out of her head because, deep down, she knows very few can maintain that level of control. Number 5. Master silence and let her talk more. Let's be frank. There's a wrong belief out there that to impress someone, you need to be a talking machine, filling every second of the date with 1,000 words and good stories. But my friend, the more you try to fill the silence, the more you lose. Someone who is truly self-assured understands that silence is not something to be avoided, but something to be mastered. And mastering silence is a skill that few have. When you speak less, you convey a confidence that doesn't need approval. This means you don't need to show that you're good at conversation or that you have all the answers. You simply are who you are, and that's it. This silence tells her that you're not desperate to impress, that you're comfortable being a mystery, and that, my friend, creates curiosity, one of the keys to attraction. Now let her talk. Stay there, attentive, observing every word, every expression, without rushing to fill the space. By giving her space to open up, you allow her to reveal who she is.
And at the end of the night, you know what will happen.
She'll realize that you know almost nothing about her, but she revealed a lot about herself. She'll leave the date wondering, who is he really? And you know what that does? It plants an insatiable desire to discover more about you. Using silence to your advantage is a smart game. You don't need to pour everything about yourself. You don't need to be predictable. Stay in control, let the mystery work for you, and watch how her interest in you grows. Number 6. Don't live for her. Have a life that attracts her. Let's be real. If you're throwing away your plans, your friends, your ambitions to be with her all the time, you've already started off wrong. This is the classic mistake that turns interest into boredom, because by giving up everything just to please her, you become predictable, easy to read, and honestly, kind of boring. There's nothing less attractive than someone who abandons their own life for another person. The issue is simple. She wants someone interesting, someone who inspires and challenges her, not an unconditional fan. Instead of nullifying yourself, build a life that she will want to fight to be a part of. Prioritize what really matters: your personal growth, your goals, and your social circle. Have hobbies, pursue your ambitions, and have your own routine. When she realizes that you have an intense and complete life, something that goes beyond her, her interest in you only increases. She'll see you as someone independent, someone who doesn't need her to have a purpose. And there's the secret. A well-structured life with real goals is magnetic. When she understands that you're not there begging for her attention, that your happiness and achievements don't depend on her, you transition from being a simple good guy to someone she truly wants to have by her side. Because desire, my friend, grows when she feels there's something great to conquer, something that goes beyond herself. If you've made it this far, you understand that being an attractive man goes far beyond pleasing or living for someone. True attraction comes from self-control, mystery, and an interesting life full of purpose. The man who is self-assured, who doesn't completely surrender, and who has his own goals becomes magnetic. That's the guy she wants to have by her side because he represents something beyond the ordinary, a challenge, a world she hasn't yet uncovered. So, if you really want to spark desire and maintain a woman's interest, forget the idea that it's enough to please and open up without reservations. Strengthen who you are, create your own universe, and let her want to be a part of it. The secret is this: balance, purpose, and mystery. Now, before you leave, do your part. Like, subscribe, and comment below. Because the algorithm needs to understand that this content deserves to reach more people. Let's spread a dose of reality to those who need it. See you in the next video. Now, go and be the guy she truly wants to conquer.